Hey, party people. Well, welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host as always, Jeff Stormer, and this week on the show, I'm joined by my good friend Hopper Crain for a game of Fluxfall Horizon. Fluxfall Horizon is a Powered by the Apocalypse role-playing game about parallel Earths. Players take on the role of Lancers, people from the late 24th century, sent into an alternate Earth to fix something that has gone wrong. But because no plan survives contact with a faulty quantum hub, things go wrong, they don't quite end up where they're supposed to, and chaos, hidden objectives, and drama ensues. The game is currently on Kickstarter, it has already funded, it has blown past its goals, so you can go pick it up. It's in its final 2 days, so go pick it up as soon as you listen to this. Back it, get your own copy. It's a fun game. I loved it. There's a lot of cool world building and alternate Earth building stuff in it, and there's a lot of cool things happening behind the scenes. Plus, it just gives you the tools to tell a really fun story, and I think that's a really special, important thing. You can find more information about the Fluxfall Horizon Kickstarter in the show notes. Hopper, in addition to being a good friend of mine, is a professional GM and a cast member on several Manapot Studios productions, which you can find at twitch.tv/Manapot Studios, including The Hole in the World, which is their bi-weekly Invisible Sun actual play, and also Flights of Fandom, which is a stream that airs every Tuesday night. It is a community-focused stream run by some very wonderful people. I am a frequent guest on the show, focused on telling stories in copyrighted universes with an eye towards reclaiming stories from the terrible people and corporations that own them, and telling copyrighted stories better than copyright holders can tell them. As you know, if you listen to the show, that is a topic that is extremely close to my heart. I love Flights of Fandom. They are so much fun. The streams that they put together are so delightful, and it's a good group, and I love playing games with them. And so check that out at twitch.tv/Manapot Studios. I will be running a game for them on December 7th, which will be a TVA-themed game set in the world of Loki, which I'm very, very excited about. We're going to get into some nonsense. It's great. I love them. They're a good group of people. You can check them out at twitch.tv/Manapot Studios. And be sure to follow Hopper on Twitter at The Legend Tree and head to thelegendtree.com where they post tabletop content as well as the stuff that they're working on. Hopper is wonderful. They are a dear, dear friend, and I'm so happy that they joined me kind of super last minute to put this together. It was really fun, and I deeply appreciated it. One super quick thing before we dive in, which is we're taking a couple weeks off, like I mentioned last episode. So I will see you in January. We'll be posting the Christmas episode, and then we will be back kind of mid-January. January 10th is kind of the return date. We're taking a few weeks off. We're taking December off from releasing episodes. We'll be recording some stuff to build out a backlog and giving ourselves some time to not work on a thing and not edit audio on our weekends and giving ourselves time off and committing to being the kind of self-employed bosses that we want to be in the world. So, yeah, we'll talk to you in 2022, y'all. And on that note, I'm going to throw it over to me from an alternate Earth called A Week Ago so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. This week, I could not be more excited. This is a very fun, very special episode for me. I am sitting down with my good friend, Hopper Crain. Hopper, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Well, hi, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Real quick, at the top of the show, before we dive into our game, why don't you take a moment to let our lovely listeners at home know about anything you've got going on that you might want the audience at home to know about?
Well, I am a professional arborist that happens to pro GM on the side, so I run games, mostly for kids, but also for adults. And I am a cast member on a couple live streams, and hopefully on a couple podcasts in the near future.
What are those streams and podcasts?
Ooh,
per se. Now that you've got my interest, perhaps I may know of or appear on some of those.
Ooh, I believe you have appeared on one of them already. The podcasts are in their formative stage. But the stream that I'm on, the longest running one, is an Invisible Sun actual play, The Hole in the World, which airs typically every other Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on Manapot Studios on their Twitch, which you can find by going to manapotstudios.com, which should redirect you.
You can also check the show notes for more information.
Excellent. And the other show that I'm on is Flights of Fandom, which is also on Manapot Studios, and that is a show where we tell collaborative storytelling. Specifically, we write fan fiction in worlds that already exist. We primarily focus on IPs and universes with questionable creators and or disparate and problematic pasts, but we also engage in franchises and fandoms that are just beloved because we want to tell stories in them.
I love it. I mean, that is a thing that is very close to my heart, is telling stories in copyrighted universe better than the copyright holders is a topic that I am always extremely passionate about. And I love it. I mean, you know this, but the listeners might not, that I am a gigantic proponent of the Flights of Fandom.
It is a delight, and it's been such a great community that's developed around that.
Really, truly. Really, really, truly.
Yeah, I mean, that's it for me. Honestly, I'm, not super exciting. I'm not an Emmy award-winning podcast host or anything.
Who is these days? So the game that we are playing this week, speaking of games and podcasts and fun times with friends, the game that we are playing that's what we call a segue, and that was not my best work, but I'm going to stick with it. The game that we are playing this week is Fluxfall Horizon. Fluxfall Horizon is a game about alternate Earths. It is a game about sliding between alternate dimensions, fixing things that have gone wrong, and trying to kind of maintain a consistent world and a consistent multiverse. You are going to be playing a Flux Lancer. For 10 exciting years, only a few hundred people have ever gotten the chance to step through the so-called Fluxfall Horizon and experience alternate Earths. And now billionaire tourists as well as hapless civilians have been added to the mix. Lancers are groups of scientists and civilians and corporate entities and mysterious navigators and as in our case today, hapless civilians thrown into the mix. And on that note, why don't you tell us about your character and set the scene for us as what happens is we open on Chrono Corps headquarters. Chrono Corp is the sort of managerial enterprise that oversees the Fluxfall Horizon itself and sort of the transition between these alternate worlds. It is the agency that oversees all of this. And when there is a note that something has gone wrong in the multiverse, they are the ones that send someone out. Tell us how your character wanders into, or like what we see for their introduction as they arrive in the departure chamber or the kind of staging room for a Fluxfall Lance. What's the intro that we get to this character, and then tell us who they are and what their deal is.
All right, so you see, or the camera sees a kind of average height, very slim build. You see a young person of kind of very androgynous, with an undercut, just plain brown hair, nothing fancy, and wearing like these kind of overly thick, kind of cheap-looking eyeglasses. They've got a dress shirt on with a skinny black tie and a Chronocorp ID badge. And I think if the camera panned in, you would see that ID badge says Quinn Whitaker, intern.
I imagine you've got a cup of coffee in your hand.
Oh, both hands.
Yeah, a scientist walks up and immediately takes one, and somebody in a suit and tie comes up and takes the other, and just as you kind of start to turn back out of the room, somebody kind of brushes your shoulder and kind of bumps into you and pushes you a little bit, and you kind of start to get the look of this room. It is one of those big classic, think Cold War, one of those big circular Cold War test chamber rooms with the big windows on it, and there are two egg chairs in the room, and in one of them there is a large slab of beef of a man is sitting in one of these chairs. High-tech battle gear and armor, very aesthetic of very kind of Starship Troopers battle armor is on him, looking very serious, has not made eye contact with you, has not moved his head, does not even look like he is breathing, is just locked in. We get a brief shot of kind of a nameplate on his battle armor that says Vanguard McMurphy. And Vanguard is sitting very stoically, has kind of tubes and piping and wires kind of sticking out of him. Think of a like the Weapon X aesthetic when Wolverine is in the makeshift Bacta tank and he's got the thing sticking out of him.
Oh, 100%. That's
a lot of those. They're all kind of connected into this sort of egg chair that he's in, and he's just sitting, has not moved. And what happens is you are very quickly brushed and bumped, and people just kind of keep shoving you and moving you, and they kind of lift up one of your shirt sleeves and dab it, and before you even fully realize it, you've got wires and tubes and things are kind of and you're just like, what? Huh?
What? Wait, what? Excuse? Ow!
Are you and by the time you kind of start to speak up, you've already been seated in the chair.
What? Pardon, what's going on?
And an extremely bored looking technician walks into the room carrying a clipboard, a holographic laser clipboard, as this is the 23rd century. A laser holographic clipboard is hovering in front of them as they kind of tap things. They could not look less engaged in any of this.
So I wasn't expecting any of this, correct?
No. And I think what happens, the brief moment that you get is, this person walks in, her name's Connie. Connie walks in, and she just all right, Vanguard, this is a pretty solitary one-agent mission.
Hi.
Why are you in the chair?
I was just wondering the same thing, to be perfectly honest with you.
Why is the intern in the chair? And there's a scuttle behind Connie.
Quinn is just looking absolutely mortified. They know they're going to be blamed for this. They absolutely know they're going to be blamed for this.
She turns back. All right, well, the good news is it's not your fault. It seems like it was a mix-up. Vanguard, I'm sorry, I have to run through. And Vanguard, is just not moved, not responded to this. And Connie's, I'm sorry, I know you've heard this. I know you don't need, I gotta. Everybody, can we push back the launch? Can we push back the lance by 3 minutes? 3 entire minutes so that I can prep this... Quinn, I gotta prep the intern. Can we push it back now? 4. Give me 4 minutes. Hi, I'm Connie. I don't know if we've met.
We've met 7 times.
Oh, well, great. It's a pleasure to meet you. Okay, so, hold on. I've got a script. I have to read the script. You understand it. Congratulations, you are going to be among the few, the chosen, the proud, to breach the Fluxfall horizon and see, and a hologram of Earths kind of tiled on top of each other appears behind her in sort of an arc, like a half circle rainbow type pattern. The glory of the multiverse. I cannot. The pageantry stops being exciting. Unfortunately, our responsibility here at Chrono Corp is not all fun and games. There is a serious responsibility when there is, point at number 667, when one of the Earths has an issue. You should see it catch fire behind me. That is when we send in our Lancers to do what is called a put right. You will notice on Vanguard's wrist, and Vanguard, holds up the wrist very factually, and a kind of a Fallout Boy, not Fallout Boy, Jesus, that's not what I, a Fallout Boy style. A chain bracelet is on his wrist.
It's a spiked or the black and white checkered bracelet.
It is a black and white checkered bracelet. And then behind the Fallout Boy bracelet is the wrist thing that has a name that I don't
Pip
remember.
Boy.
A Pip Boy, thank you. There's a Pip Boy type thing, and on it he just kind of slaps a button and a little ball pops up. a little floating ball. Your quantum hub. When you arrive at your destination, the quantum hub will indicate to you the objective of the put right. Vanguard, do you want to start the thing so that we can kind of actually segue into the... We're going to segue into the mission briefing. We are now only 2 minutes behind schedule. Thank you so much for not having further questions, Quinn. I understand that you're going to be fine.
And, like, I think Quinn is, like, very desperate to ask questions, but also very scared of interrupting this woman. So there's a lot of... okay.
Let's see. All right, Vanguard, if you could activate the briefing and show it to Quinn so that they can see what they've got going on. And Vanguard, like, pushes a little glowing red button in the middle of the orb, and it starts broadcasting holographic data kind of between the two of you. Dateline, early 21st century. An advanced form of cryptocurrency has gained sentience several years before the AI convergence was supposed to occur, and being tied to cryptocurrency means that it is innately incredibly destructive. Your mission, the mission the put right, is to access the mainframe of the sentient cryptocurrency and shut it down, which will not kill the sentient cryptocurrency, but allow it to be transported back safely to the 23rd century, where it can be acclimated and have a safe structure built around it. Does that all make sense? Does that track? Are you good with that? Quinn, I know Vanguard's fine with it.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but why am I here? Sorry?
And she kind of, like, clicks a button and the clipboard fades away, and she grabs what is clearly, like, a busted old folding chair, and, like, you hear the as she kind of, like, pulls it and just kind of plops down in front of you. It seems that when you entered the testing chamber, some of the scientists just kind of assumed that you were, like, arriving, like, reporting for duty.
Oh.
So, yeah, I guess you're coming on kind of a ride along now. Like, I don't, like, we can't, now that you're, like, the system has recognized that this has become a 2-Lancer job, so we can't, like, if we unplug you, like, we'd have to shut down the entire thing, so we kind of just have to send you along. So,
Well, so, normally, I'm still not paid. Does this mean I get paid?
Are we giving the intern pay for being a Lancer? We are? Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody that we're paying you.
Sure. You can keep it off the books if you want.
We just don't want this. This can't happen again, because this is adding a lot of complications to my day, and I don't really need you understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks, Connie.
You know, you're welcome. Listen, you're gonna be fine. Just, follow Vanguard. Vanguard's got some orders and got some tactics planned. Just, it's gonna be fine. You're going back to the early 21st century, sometime around 2021. You should be fine. Should be good. Did I miss anything? And another person comes in with, like, a briefcase.
Okay.
Only we gotta outfit him with gear. Oh yeah, all right. You get some gear. And I'm gonna ask you, Hopper, to go to in the rulebook page 28. They open this again very bored looking tech opens this briefcase that, like, expands out TARDIS style to show you, like, a full kind of queue room, right, like James Bond style. As we go through all of our gear that is offered to our Lancers. Gear comes in 2 kinds, basic and special. Basic gear does not confer any mechanical bonus or advantage to any move. You pretty much can find any basic gear that you need. Special gear, on the other hand, gives a bonus or advantage by default. All Lancers start with the following devices. Standard issue from Chronocorp, a transceiver, which is the thing that you see somebody kind of, like, latch it onto your belt. It is clearly, and, like, it beeps, and the hub beeps, and you realize, like, this is going to be the thing that actually sends you into the other world.
Okay.
You have your standard issue all-weather Durafiber clothing, ultra tough and waterproof. This is pretty much the standard uniform that like we kind of and you feel it under your shirt that you realize like they kind of ask you to wear like a kind of a wetsuit under your regular clothes, and like you're like, oh, that's the Durafiber clothing, and a universal translator to ensure somebody kind of like pops a little earbud into one of your ears. Do that. That is going to translate most variations of language. You should be fine. You will also get to choose one piece of primary gear from the list. You can get a disruptor pistol, a ultra medkit, or a science box, as well as a piece of secondary gear, which includes a rebreather, an inflatable tent, 10 ration pills, light body armor, or hover boots.
Ooh. I think so. Quinn's absorbing all of this and just like they're trying to remember somebody's coffee order, using those skills. And I think they look across at at Vanguard with kind of like big deer in the headlights kind of eyes and go, is there I don't really feel comfortable with firearms. I'm not really trained.
Vanguard is already sitting with a big fuck you disruptor pistol and like wearing what is visibly body armor. Is just like, all right.
Do you have a suggestion between the med kit and the box? Science box?
This is science box. Do you plan on getting hurt?
I don't plan on it, but you're also wearing body armor, and I'm not.
Well, then I think that probably, are you afraid of getting hurt?
Oh yeah, very.
Then I would recommend the med kit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I'll take the med kit, please.
All right.
Ooh, 20, and I think you see Quinn trying to remember what they know about the early 21st century. I mean, it's pretty, depending on, if it's cryptocurrency, presumably we can get food. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't suppose I could get body armor, because I'm really concerned about that.
Do you want the science box and body armor then? Or you can take the med kit. It's your call. Either way, the thing pops up in front of Connie. She hits 3 buttons, and the kind of scuba suit that you have under your thing bulks up, and like you feel like very obviously shoulder plates under your dress shirt. And you're like, oh, I'm now wearing body armor.
But it's underneath a dress shirt. So
yeah.
I think, well, the good news is that these clothes did not fit well in the first place. So now they're kind of filled out slightly. Like there was kind of there's kind of a, I'm about to rip my shirt open with my pecs kind of vibe. But yeah, no, Quinn is not that ripped, but, it's kind of a weird feeling. Medkit still works. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Then with that, you've got your gear, you've got your destination. Is there any final questions from either of you before you dive in? Vanguard, what level of force is authorized for the assignment? I mean, minimal, but if things get hot, they get hot. But ideally, keep it chill. I don't want to have to fill out a lot of paperwork. Understood. No further questions.
Quinn is visibly rethinking the disruptor pistol, not taking the disruptor pistol, but says nothing.
Quinn, any questions?
Oh, so many. Okay. This is fine. Nope, we're getting paid. This is fine.
All right. Great. Then on that note, I'm going to go ahead and step out of the room, because if I'm in here when things go, I could get, lost in the multiverse, and no thank you. Assuming you don't die, I'll talk to you later today.
Okay.
She walks out, goes and stands behind all of the people behind the viewing window looking in. I am going to roll on some dice immediately. I've got a table to roll on immediately because it's fun.
God, I love tables, though.
Tables are fun. Tables are great. I'm going to roll 2d6 3 times.
Ooh.
That's a 6, That's also a 6. Ooh.
Hopper's anxiety just cranked into high gear.
This is great. This is great. You hear the hum of the light, and then you hear kind of you hear Vanguard breathing, and you hear Vanguard like muttering some calming phrases, and you can kind of hear the shuffling from people from behind the viewing window, and like everything is kind of, and then suddenly you hear, overwhelming as though you were thrown into a pool of it, you hear an impossible darkness. It is the loudest, emptiest noise you've ever heard. You can't quite pinpoint when you've heard darkness before, but this is unmistakable and the loudest and most definitive variation on that sound that you've ever heard. And you feel the tubes and the wiring and the visor and you feel it all kind of melt away, and you're just you can't. It's that kind of that noise that's so loud that it takes over your other senses, and you feel it almost on your tongue. Mm-hmm. It's that loud. You feel it and you hear it, and you look over and you can see that Vanguard hears the same thing, and that's kind of why he's been muttering these mantras. And you look around, and the room that you're in, this chamber, like melts away, and it doesn't. There's no great sense of, like, you don't go into a vortex. There's no kind of swirling Doctor Who visuals. All the kind of TV shows and holodramas kind of presented to you a much messier view of what this was going to look like, and it just kind of changes. And suddenly, it is late at night, the sky is cloudy, and in the distance you see a small village, and a tall, gleaming steel tower with a big red glowing bulb, and that glowing very cyberpunk Sauron energy to this giant gleaming steel tower. And you look, and I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna see if there is a. You'll get an answer to this. I'm gonna ask you to roll me a demystify roll, which is 2d6 plus your mental stat. Your stats in this are.
I have a 0 in mental, as I am a bystander. Or I am a, let's see, what's my primary civilian of the bystander subtype. So I've got 1 power, 2 movement, 0 mental, -1 tech, and -3 flux tech.
Yeah, now we both have -3 flux tech, because flux tech represents the ability to alter the quantum hub and to quite literally kind of command it where to go, like, and sort of take control of the continuum, which is sort of the all things. It is all living things. It is the entire kind of concept of all of these alternate Earths are contained within the continuum. It is a semi-living construct thing that everyone is sort of consciously aware of, especially as Lancing has become like big business. The continuum is the thing that we navigate by Lancing, and Flux Tech is the technology that we use to lance with it. Generally, your quantum hub will tell you where to go with it, but the Flux Tech stat is how you alter and mess with that hub. So right now I'm going to ask you to roll me 2d6 plus your mental. I'm going to tell you the basics of what you get. You get some baseline information from your knowledge of what Earth was like in the early 21st century, but you might get some more information.
That is a 6 with a 5 and a, well, in these dice's case, a fuck, which is a 1.
Great. You get a disentanglement.
Ooh.
Let me tell you what that is. Disentanglement means that you lose some of your quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement is good. It's what keeps your Lancer bound bit by bit to the continuum. Certain actions, however, can disentangle swaths of particles in your Lancer, and they become separated or disentangled. This is also good until it's bad. This is a way for you to build up powers and do cool things. However, at a certain point, you build up too many of them, and you dissolve into nothingness and fade into this sort of tapestry of the continuum. You fade into nothingness at a certain point.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that's probably bad.
That's probably not great. So right now you've got 1 point of disentanglement, and you feel it. You feel out of sync. Like you feel like you are a piece of cinematic film on the continuously shot like soap opera style film footage, right? Like you feel like the way you are just feels slightly shot differently than just for a moment though.
Well, that's unnerving.
Yeah.
we see Quinn give like a little shiver, and then kind of quickly look over to see, hopefully Vanguard's there.
Vanguard is there. Vanguard stands up. The thing that you notice, the thing that you see, right, and the thing that is worse than you could possibly imagine, and I will allow you to. So the thing that you get as you realize, and I think it's that feeling of wrongness that kind of like tips you off to this, right? That kind of like signals to you that this has happened, that this thing has happened. Is you look down, you know some things about the 21st century. You have an idea. Generally, houses were not lit by fire. Generally, there were there were a lot of street lights and paved roads.
And that is not the case.
Outside of this one giant steel tower, it's a lot of thatched roof cottages. And somebody riding along on a horse. There are some drones flying around, but they seem to have the same kind of ominous red light glow of the giant steel tower. Other than that, though, there are some people riding on horseback. There are some people with cloaks pulling over their hoods and kind of trying to like put out fires in their houses. So the drones that are flying with these giant kind of like half bucket, half minecart type things flying underneath them, are flying through the streets. Vanguard cocks his pistol, looks around, and is like, all right, early 21st century.
Oh, Mr. McMurphy?
Uh-huh.
Are we sure this is the early 21st century? This looks really wrong compared to what I learned about in school.
Yeah, this ain't right.
I assume you know what you're doing, so I'll just stand over here, but that giant steel tower with the big glowy red thing looks super ominous.
And like very loudly, like startling the both of you, the hub pops off of McMurphy's wrist, like legs pop out of it, and it just kind of like pops onto the ground, and like a thing, and you see it kind of dig into the ground and be like, security mode activated. The Hauntum hub is locked into its current location. This is the drop site, quote unquote. You're put right. Lancers, disable the mainframe of the crypto database. Good luck.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I guess, giant ominous tower?
All right, here's the thing, kid. Here's the thing. And you see him reluctantly stash the pistol. I'm actually going to roll a demystify here. 2d6 plus mental. My mental is also 0. And that is a 3. So I'm going to take a disentanglement. And I think actually what happens then is instead of to reveal this, instead of stashing his pistol, he like cocks it and you see it kind of light up and get ready. Tower it is, and as soon as he does that, one of these drones very obviously like turns towards you, and he takes aim and he goes, "Oh, snarf."
Is that the 23rd century curse word of choice?
Yeah, after the third Thundercats reboot was so universally reviled, snarf actually comes into favor as a really strong curse word.
I hate this canon and I adore it with equal passion. What have you done to me, Jeff? So Quinn definitely like just kind of gives a little noise and like is there anything to hide behind?
Actually, I will absolutely allow you to roll. You're gonna roll me a sneakeroo for this, and I think as you're doing that, still cocking his pistol, he goes, "Oh, all right. Here's the deal, kid. It seems like we're far enough back in the past that thing," and the drone is like flying towards you as he's explaining this, "is the only tech. So any sensors that they have," and he points at his pistol, "they seem to notice technology. I'm gonna go take care of this drone. You do what you gotta do. Just know that we're easily spotted if we bust out any of our technology. Cool? Cool. All right, I'll talk to you in a bit."
Oh.
It does a combat roll to go into shooting this drone.
Is it in any way necessary?
No. Rolls in, and with the pistol, immediately, like, combat rolls, flies over and just shoots this thing dead out of the sky. You watch the giant thing collapse into the ground. 2 more drones do take notice, though, and start converging on your location. Go ahead and make me a sneakeroo roll as Vanguard, like, rushes into the fight. The thing that you notice is the thing that falls out of this gigantic bucket is a bunch of, like, metal and stones and other kind of mining materials that it seems to have been gathering up, and it seems to have been gathering them up from the people in these cottages. It seems like it has forced these people to mine metals and things to power itself.
Oh, okay. This is, I think, Quinn watched a lot of 22nd century speculative fiction. Serial dramas, and like this is a recurring theme that like they know is a lot older, but this makes sense. I've seen a soap opera about this, I think. All right, so I'm rolling a sneakeroo.
Yeah. You attempting stealth, when you attempt stealth, subterfuge, or quiet deception on any non-double or doppel, I'll explain what those are when they come up, you will roll me 2d6 plus movement.
Okay, 2d6 plus movement. I have, it is my only good, it's my best stat, so that is +2. The dice, however, do not like me. That is 5 plus 2 for 7.
7, success with a complication. You learn something, you can succeed or learn something, you can succeed absurdly, but take a condition or lose a gear. Succeed and learn something important for future sneakeroos, but for now, discovery is imminent. I'm going to let you... Which of those 2 options, you can either get something important and be spotted, or succeed completely, or take a condition, or lose a piece of gear.
I like the more dramatic one. Wait, what were the 2 options again? Hit me.
You can either sort of temporarily succeed, but you will be spotted by one of these 2 drones, or you can get hurt or lose some gear and succeed completely.
Ooh, I will take the temporary success, please.
Okay. The thing that you... Oh, I know exactly what you notice. I know exactly what you pick up on. One of these drones gets shot out of the sky. You hear it. You hear the laser blast, and you hear it crash to the ground. You hear the rocks and chunks of metal tumble out of this large bucket. The other one is flying straight towards you. And as you kind of peek out, where are you hiding? What is the spot that you're hiding from?
Oh, I think this is definitely like a low woody shrub that you just see Quinn just kind of like do like a incredibly inelegant kind of attempt. I think they're trying to look cool because Vanguard's so fucking cool. And just does like a tries to do a shoulder roll, and it's not great. It ends up being more of like kind of a bad cartwheel. But right behind this shrub.
So you do this cartwheel, and the thing that you see just before the drone kind of gets up to you, gets kind of into engagement range, is you see kind of into like kind of a military style backpack. Vanguard grabs this drone and like stuffs it into the backpack over his shoulders, like just kind of shoves it down into the backpack, and you watch it kind of get sucked into this sort of like 23rd century void vortex, like, but like clearly stashes this drone in his backpack as the other drone like gets up to you into engagement range.
Oh, weird. That seems, I don't know, that whatever. I'm just an intern. What do I know?
The drone barks at you. State your entry on the blockchain. State your name in the ledger.
So Quinn, you just see Quinn kind of like stand up awkwardly, just still kind of or half standing, like that weird, not quite a crouch, not quite a full standing posture, and goes, my name's Randy Daniels.
Randy Daniels scanning the blockchain, running the blockchain to scan for Randy Daniels. I'm gonna call this, what do I want to call this? Is this, I don't think this is Sneakeroo. This might be, I don't think this is Innovate. I think this is I think you're trying to persuade this thing that you are not who you say you are.
Yes, that tracks. So that would be a, what is that, a mental?
Yes, 2d6 plus mental.
All right. Ooh, much better. 10 total. 10 plus 0.
Describe your successful feat of social manipulation.
I think, so Quinn just kind of stands up and just kind of goes, Randy Daniels, and just kind of waves the ID card, like the Chrono Corp ID card, kind of rapidly enough that, like, and in such a way that it clearly, there is some barcode on there, and I think this is sheer luck. There's like some numbers get scanned badly, and I think this is maybe there's like a auto completion algorithm that just is just like, well, we have a Randy Daniels and we have this. This
Daniels,
seems right?
Daniels, Randall, transaction identified. According to our records, you obtained a ticket to the marvelous non-fungible token exhibition of Leonardo da Vinci, currently held in the town square in 2 minutes. Please report to your reported location for a night of fun, entertainment, and the wonders of the world by one of the great living artists. And clearly its voice changes into advertising speak.
Oh god, I fucking hate this. I fucking hate this so much. Quinn just kind of goes, yep. I'm very excited about that. This seems, yep.
Do you require directions?
Yes, please.
That will be 0.27 quantum coin.
Why don't you just take it straight from my account?
I'm going to give this to you for the 10 plus. 0.27 quantum coin has been deducted from your account, Randall Daniels. Follow me.
Somebody somewhere's mad pissed off.
we cut to some Game of Thrones fucking feast. Bing. Oh! What the? You are carried over to the town square where, in the grand visual of these things,
Do I see where Vanguard went during all of this?
Vanguard, you kind of briefly saw Vanguard just run downhill, kind of military style. But you've kind of lost visual on Vanguard. You've lost a little bit of the visual on Vanguard.
Okay.
But you know that he's like stalking around the village. As you are carried to the village square where and I think like there is briefly like a note. We kind of do briefly get a shot of Beckett like kind of monitoring progress. We get the briefest shot from like Chronocorp headquarters as they hear the name and they go, Leonardo da Vinci. Why is Da Vinci in like a Middle Ages alternate Earths? It does not matter. All right, it's fine. Whatever. Oh my god, this is too early in the snarfing day for this. I cannot even. And we cut back. I just needed to put that note in.
I love it.
For my own sake. So that people don't at me on Twitter. You are carried into the town square where there are clearly visuals of kind of all of Da Vinci's. You know, we see the man, and we see kind of his weird sort of flying machines. And they're all, yeah, we see ornithopters, and we see Da Vinci's man, and they're all on screens with like numbers attached, like 27 quantum coin. This one can be yours for 14 quantum coin. Oh my god,
this is the worst timeline.
Da Vinci is clearly delivering like a carnival barker, and like the square is like directly, like you can see the doors of the tower from where you're at.
Oh yeah, so Quinn is very aware that they are not dressed like everybody else. Mm-hmm. So I think, do I see like somebody's like one of these thatch huts or whatever that seems to be currently unoccupied?
Yeah, I'll say absolutely you can.
Yeah, so Quinn's gonna wander over there, and, like, I know it's dark, but, it, like, are there locking mechanisms, or, like, what's the deal here? I mean, it seems like they don't have any metal.
Yeah, all of the metal is being kind of round up, so, like, there is sort of, kind of a latch. Like, you can see kind of, like, wooden latches on some of the doors and windows that they've kind of, like, hastily fashioned, or, like, kind of things being propped against doors, but like they're pretty easy to kind of break into.
Cool. Quinn pulls out their cell phone that they just remembered was in their back pocket, and like turns on the flashlight mode, and like just kind of goes like, just kind of looks at the door, figures out how to open this specific one, and pops inside. They are looking for clothing that fits the era.
I think you can find that pretty easily. Like, if you want base level clothing, if you just want some basic gear, you can find it pretty easily. If you wanted to bestow a particular kind of advantage, you can roll perhaps demystify. And let me see if does your phone give you a particular note or a particular bonus?
So it is very explicitly, so for the viewers or the listeners at home, sorry, I'm used to live streaming. The cell phone is the special gear of the bystander. Cell phone, you're not supposed to have it with you. Whoops. It does, this device does anything you think a 23rd century cell phone might do, but it gets no reception. So it's just a cell phone, basically, that can't make calls. But I am trying to take advantage of one of my special abilities, which is the cosplayer special ability, which is can appear and act as a local with some clothes in 1 hour's study.
Yeah, I think you're able to grab some clothes. You're able to find some like an outfit, and like in that very Doctor Who way, like you step into a room and step out of it dressed as a local, and like nobody's gonna ask the question.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so, Quinn is just going to kind of wander around and listen in, I guess go to this exhibition and just kind of try to be normal and figure out what's normal. They've had a lot of experiences. Like, they've been a corporate intern for, like, a few years now. It's not great, but they're pretty good at, like, very chameleoning their way into whatever local office culture or company dynamic there is. And, and I think they're going to take advantage of this to try to blend in.
And so you're blending in. You're laying low, and Da Vinci is giving the pitch. Look at all of these amazing things that the plans of which, the future can be yours with a small investment of quantum coin. Behold, and picture a Leonardo da Vinci sketch of the saddest, brutalist factory you've ever seen.
Oh, no.
This factory can generate quantum coin at a rate of almost 11% reduction in the amount of smog and smoke that is billowed into the air. Think about that. Think about what a profound... You could invest in this right now with a small investment. You could be on the ground floor of a game-changing technology. And people are kind of looking around and nobody is and it's just clearly giving the most, is clearly into it. And I think what happens is as people kind of start to get up and leave, a hologram voice pops up that Leonardo spins around. Dante, hello. And we get the shot of D.A.N.T.E, Dante, the voice of modern cryptocurrency. Dante, hello. You are not providing engaging content for this convertible audience, Leonardo. Please try harder. Remember, hustle makes the dream work. And it blinks away.
Oh my god. I fucking hate this. Quinn is just kind of going, what the fuck? Just repeatedly whispering, what the fuck? Over and over, trying to get the accent right of the locals, but just going what the fuck? Or sorry. What the snarf? What the snarf? What the snarf? What the snarf? What the snarf?
I'm sorry, are you saying snarf?
Yes.
A random person turns over to you.
Yes, I am.
What is that? I love that.
It's a little it's a little thing that I coined. I call it the Whittaker.
I love that. Is that when you come up with a cool new phrase?
Yeah, it's when you it's kind of I'm really witty, and my name's Whittaker, so my friends call it the Whittaker.
That's so sick. That's amazing. So if I were to say oh, you're pulling a Leonardo for when you're really bombing at a presentation, that would kind of be doing a Whittaker.
Yeah, exactly. You're coining a new phrase. Yeah, totally, 100%. Snarfing A, man.
Snarfing A. I love. I'm actually gonna go tell my friends right now. And so one of the ways that I'm encouraged to stir the pot is to put an NPC in danger, and also to blow up the scene. And I think what happens at this moment is laser fire starts erupting, both from drones and from Vanguard. There is just explosions happening in every direction. Leonardo is rushed off by security. Two big executioner looking dude just run off with Leonardo. And laser fire is just exploding. The scene is properly blowing up, and this NPC that you have convinced of the coolness of to pull a Whittaker is in direct danger because they are caught in a crossfire.
Okay. I think Quinn is just I just convinced somebody I'm cool. I can't let him die. They're look, nobody ever gives a shit about what interns say. So there's this social, there's a serotonin high going on right now, and they're not about to let that go.
I love that.
It's oh God, I feel so bad for this character. So Quinn dives over. They've at least got the protection of the light body armor underneath their local clothing, which I'm picturing is very in my brain is very much the peasants from
Renaissance. It's Renaissance phase.
Yeah, so Ren fair clothing, a little bit bulkier than normal because of the armor. And they're gonna dive over and try to grab this unknown person who just happens to think they're cool.
I'm going to ask you to roll. That's going to be a dive into danger. 2d6
okay.
plus movement or power, whichever you've got higher.
I have, that's an interesting thing. I know I get, I have movement. I get +1 power when diving into danger versus physical, but I have, I guess that's actually equal. So I have 2 in either, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so go with the 2.
That is a 7 on the dice and a +2 for 9.
Meanwhile, so drones are going down all around you as Vanguard is shooting them out of the sky. Vanguard is ducking and weaving. Vanguard had rolled a 10 on diving into danger and is just plucking them out of the sky, right? Like, and there's explosions and lasers happening in every which direction. Vanguard grabs one of the drones, and starts fiddling with wires on it. I'm actually going to also roll plus innovate, which I roll plus power instead. So that is a 6. That is an 8 on my innovate roll.
Ooh.
Innovate is when you attempt to innovate, repair, invent, or construct or understand any kind of non-flux technology. On an 8, I describe success with a complication. I'm going to ask you, Hopper, what goes wrong for Vanguard as he kind of rewires this drone to be an attack drone to fire on the other drones?
Ooh, I think that it it can't turn left.
Mm-hmm.
It can only turn right, and it also can only fire in an odd sequences. So like maybe it has whereas normally these drones are firing in like sustained bursts, it fires like 1, 2, 3 in increasing power, and then drops 10 feet.
Oh, I love that. I love that a ton. Yeah, so it's flying around, and I think what it is partially like it is shooting this like 1, and then 2 is stronger, and 3 is even stronger, and it's like overheating its like laser gun. And so, like, it is, and it's just kind of shooting them, like, wild. So, like, there are just these heavy laser blasts crashing, and there are giant explosions. This is absolute chaos. And in that moment, Vanguard reaches onto his belt, stashes the pistol, and breaks out his, you watch him pull out, like, the handle of a gun and break out his disruptor rifle.
Oh, no.
And goes, "Let's go, kid. We're getting inside."
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you. Don't die. At the person who I just convinced I was cool.
Well, let me ask you: Are you following Vanguard's instruction, or are you helping your friend get to safety?
Why not both?
Why not both? You've hit me. You've got me. Talk me through how you're doing it.
Though arguably, following Vanguard is not safety, but here we are. He's the most dangerous thing here thus far. So, so I think Quinn just kind of like goes, maybe you should come with us. There is a much lower likelihood of you dying with us than with all of that. They just kind of gesticulate wildly at all the drones, the laser fire, the drama above.
If I'm gonna die by a human or die by a robot, I'd rather it be a human. I just pulled a Whitaker. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm Randy, by the way.
You're Oh, hi. I'm Quinn. Nice to meet you. Let's go.
Such a pleasure. And the three of you run inside, and I am going to ask you for a general roll here. One move to get up into the mainframe, to kind of run your way up the tower. How are you doing it, and how are you kind of protecting Randy as you make your way up? Like, what is your strategy here?
So I think this is once again flexing those intern muscle memory. So there's a lot of Quinn has pretty good kind of spatial awareness. They spend a lot of time moving through offices, surrounded by people whose eyes just slip like right past them. They are used to being non-people, like kind of like office furniture, and people tend to just bump into them all the fucking time. Sorry, snarfing time.
No, you can say fucking. It's just Quinn can.
That's fair. That's fair. But now I kind of want to say snarfing.
It's funny. It is funny.
And so yeah, they bump into them all the snarfing time, and so Quinn's got pretty good at dodging around these obstacles, or rather dodging around the people, treating them like an obstacle, or not an obstacle, I guess. And they're using that energy to kind of like basically just guide Randy, kind of just little grab, just a little tug on the sleeve, a little duck here, and a little just quick look at bunny.
The thing that you see as that's happening is like you turn around a corner and you see just a battery of laser fire just catches Vanguard in the chest, and he goes tumbling black, and his armor has got a giant hole blown in the middle of it. He is taking a condition because he desperately failed his dive into danger roll.
Oh no.
And he's coughing up blood. The way conditions work is there's no hit points in the game. You just amass conditions as things go wrong. And as you amass more conditions, the first 2 conditions that you get, you take -1 to all of your rolls.
Okay.
When you take 4 conditions, you take -2. And when you take 6 conditions, you fall unconscious. So this gaping wound is a condition because it is a like long-term thing, right? Like it is a problem for Vanguard, and like he kind of like stands up and shoots a drone out of the sky with this rifle. It's like, keep going. I will. Oh God, I will handle this down here. Go.
Are you sure? You sure? Okay.
Oh. Go. I said go.
Yes, sir. Okay. Come on, Randy.
Okay. Give me a sneakaroo roll.
Okay. Sneakaroo. Ooh, that is a snarfin' double sixes, baby. So for a total of 14.
Yeah, you make it right up to the mainframe room, like, and you hear, I'm gonna roll one more time for our friend Vanguard. Oh, Vanguard rolled an 11. Fabulous. Vanguard kind of like lurches in behind you a few moments later, and there's just screens everywhere, right? Like there are screens and wire boards and things in every which way. You know how to kill this thing?
I thought you knew how to kill it.
I was gonna. You know what the mainframe looks like?
I mean, I could hazard a guess, but I did do some one of my last positions was running coffee to the IT guys over at the Hexachroma Core.
Cool. Show me where the mainframe is.
Oh, okay.
Dismantle it.
May I I do have a med kit.
Oh, Snarf, that would be amazing.
I can see your ribs.
Yeah, that'd be really great.
Cool. Okay, hold still. This might sting a bit. And Quinn is gonna pull out the Ultra Med Kit and a collection of state-of-the-art field equipment. So I get +2 to any recover roll attempting to heal physical injury. What is a recover roll?
Recover roll is a specific move. You're going to roll 2d6 plus any of your stats. In this case, I'm going to say, does it say what stat you use with a med kit?
It does not. It just says recover roll.
Then I'm going to say roll with plus mental. I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to take a +2 to that.
Okay. Rad. I have no bonuses in mental. But that's a 9, so that's an 11.
There you go. So you clear the condition. You just kind of watch the wound fade away. And I'm going to ask you now for an innovate roll. 2d6 plus tech. I'm going to say that you can re-roll one of your dice and choose the higher of the 2 results. So you'll roll 3d6 and take the highest 2. because Randy is here and Randy can provide some help.
Oh, awesome. I'm 100% picturing that med kit is basically spraying like expanding foam insulation into his chest.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Snarf. That is a 6, and a 2.
Dang. Okay. You're able to find the mainframe pretty well. It's big shades of 2001, and there's like a row of like motherboard that you have to like pull out, and Randy's like, this is it. If you pull this out, yeah, it shuts the whole thing down, and wow. Dang.
How's it feel to be part of something big, bud?
It feels pretty snarfing great. Did I use it right? Was that right?
You did. You're doing great.
You pulled such a Whitaker on this one. It's so good. And at that moment, you hear the disruptor pistol fire up behind you.
Motherfucker. I think Quinn has enough time to half whisper snarf.
Give me the motherboard.
Okay. Quinn is gonna very, very hesitantly just kind of hold the motherboard up. Aren't we supposed to destroy it?
We're supposed to disable it.
Oh, okay.
And it's disabled. What happens to it now? What happens to it in the 23rd century Earth? Well, that's anybody's guess.
So, is there anything around here I could use to potentially disable Vanguard?
Roll me 2d6. Roll me 2d6 plus power. You've got there's like some chairs and motherboard and like pieces of tech that you could swing.
I'm definitely like, Quinn is not a brawler. I think Quinn is trying to rack their brains for like, that's a 6 and a 1 plus power, which is, I'm rolling some good 6s. That is a total of 8.
All right, success with a complication. You take the same pistol shot to the chest that Vanguard took, and you have a condition of a gaping wound. But as you swing something, you do like knock him on his back and like sends him tumbling. The motherboard trips. At which point you're both confronted by a piece of audio that says, "Put right has been accomplished. Please report back to drop site in T-minus 10 minutes for a successful flux back home. For a successful lance back home."
Oh,
Give me the motherboard. I think he now has another condition of like bashed in the head.
I think Quinn is still holding this. I'm just picturing like kind of a weird random strut, like a metal strut. That seems like a bad idea, Mr. McMurphy.
It's Sergeant.
Sorry, Sergeant McMurphy. I don't feel good about that.
I don't feel good about shooting you again, but
yeah,
one of the two of us is going to make a decision we don't feel great about.
Look, I'm getting paid finally, and I don't want to, but you know, oh my God, what is that? And I'd like to convince him there's something behind it.
give me a persuade.
Oh God, it's a 4 and a 3 plus what, mental? 0. That's so 7 total.
All right. Okay. I know exactly what happens. This is perfect because this segues us into a nice little brief scene. I think what happens is it works like a charm. It's flawless. And you make your way, like you both just book it, and he like, it takes him exactly long enough that you're like ahead of him, and you get back to you just run, and we get a chase scene back to the drop site. You land at the drop site. Error. Fluxfall. Error. Bad Fluxfall initiated. One of our lancers is not within 10 meters of the drop site at the time of the lance. At the time of Fluxfall. And you hear that, and suddenly, like, hold on, I'm gonna roll some dice again.
Oh no.
I got a whole bunch of dice to roll. First, I'm going to make it weird for you.
I mean, I like it weird.
We all love it weird. It's great.
Oh God! Now I am having so much paranoia. Wait, so is he within 10 meters of the thing?
No, because you distract. Your mixed success was that you distracted him, so he was outside of the range, which is gonna alter the Fluxfall, which is gonna make a complication.
Yeah.
What happens is you feel like an itch crawl over every bit of your skin, and it's just like kind of a little bit like a light sunburn, right? Like the last day of a sunburn just covers your entire skin.
Oh.
And it hurts, but it doesn't feel awful. Like it kind of like at the same time, it kind of gives you that nostalgic feeling of like the last day of summer. But it's just kind of that itch, right? That dryness, and you feel it wash over you. And suddenly, you know, in the same way that it just kind of happened, right? It didn't shift. There was no portal vortex. Vanguard is chasing behind you and takes aim. Oh, fabulous. I love it. And suddenly, overhead there is, the look of one of those drones, suddenly there's one like 10 times larger, the size of like a jet fighter, flies overhead and shoots a laser down. And suddenly you look around and you are clearly in like... The good news is you're in the 21st century, you're in the early 21st century now. The bad news is that it seems like the crypto technology got way worse, and now there's a Terminator situation.
Oh no.
And like you see the tower in the same place, and it is just like there is open warfare fighting all around you, and you watch. The thing that you watch is Vanguard just gets run down with like machine gun laser fire from some Terminator jet plane style motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, Quinn is definitely like throwing their hands up to cover their face, just getting splattered with like dirt and dust and blood.
And the thing pops up again and says like, "Your objective: disable the mainframe."
Oh snarf!
Oh snarf, indeed. So what happens is we leave it there as a cliffhanger, but now we get to reveal one of my favorite parts of the game, which is just talking about it. There's some mechanical implications that come up in play when this happens, but let's talk about secret objectives, because they're fun as hell.
They're fucking rad.
When you're playing with a larger group, like I can absolutely see playing through it, like the potential for some real good shit. But the way secret objectives works is at the start of play, each of us writes down an objective that is like secret from the rest of the group. So I was playing Vanguard as like a GMPC, but I did write down a secret objective for him. And then you also wrote down one as well. And we both accomplished our secret objectives, which is great.
Nice. I don't even know what his was. Yeah, I don't know what his was.
Actually, no, he didn't accomplish his, but he almost did. Like he kind of revealed it. So tell us what your secret objective was.
So, my secret objective was to convince people to use my name for something important, which is, I would argue, I coined a phrase that is about...
I think that's exactly a success. And like you protected Randy through the end. Vanguard's was to weaponize the cryptocurrency AI, and so like selling it to the highest bidder and turning it into a weapon was like his mission, which is why he was trying to take it from you at the very end.
I did get the feeling that there was something kind of nefarious, and interns don't really have the luxury of morality all the time, but that seemed kind of snarfed up.
Yeah, that was pretty snarfed up. And so if we were playing a longer game, I think what would happen next is we would play through like that alternate Earth, and you would fight your way through the war-torn robot verse, and depending on how much damage was either done or not done to the continuum timeline, like you would pop into different Earths and kind of appear in different times and places and alternate Earths and try to find your way back home as the continuum kind of dumped you in places and said, "Now fix this."
Yeah. Oh man, the cinematic image of like a blood and dust spattered person in Renaissance peasant clothing looking out at a Terminator style dystopia and just going, "Oh, snarf," is such a...
That's great. And I think that is exactly where we call it for our game of Fluxfall Horizon.
Bravo, Jeff, bravo.
My friend, this fucking ripped.
It's fucking ripped.
That kicked so much ass. Thank you so much for coming and playing it with me. This was amazing.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna have to end up playing this game because that was too much fun. I
think we're gonna play it together very, very soon, if I'm being honest.
That does seem likely. A little bird with a tiny golden crown told me that was a distinct possibility.
It feels like it might be, you know, who's to say, you know, some variant of us will probably play it somewhere before too long.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for playing this with me. This was amazing.
All right. I'm just so glad to have been on here, and now I need to know the rest of the story, though. That's the problem.
I know, right? So that said, real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you, your work, and the streams that you appear on online?
Oh, absolutely. You can find me online if you want, you know, questionable hot takes, just general shenanigans and my opinions. You can follow me at Fail Deadly on most social media sites. That's Fail Deadly with a 3 instead of an E, as I am oft want to say, because I'm a bad person. So it kind of looks like Fail Badly. And I occasionally produce content under the Legend Tree. So at the Legend Tree, also on most social media platforms. I'm hoping to do some fun stuff in the near future on using that handle. But for right now, you can primarily find me at manapotstudios.com. That is all one word, or on the Manapot Studios Twitch channel, where I am a regular cast member of the Hole in the World podcast, or the stream, soon to be podcast though, and also on Tuesday nights at most Tuesday nights you can find me on Flights of Fandom, where I can be often a player, but occasionally a GM. If you follow me on social media, you'll find out what terrible thing I'm doing in December.
I may or may not be a player in it. Like, I may not be able to make it work. Like, it's up in the air in a big way, but like, whether or not I'm in it, I'm dying with excitement about it. Like, I'm truly... You got a good plan, and I'm hopeful. I'm so excited.
I'm sure you guys can find a way to foil my dastardly plot.
I'm so excited. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. This kicked ass. This ruled.
Yeah. Like a truly snarfing great experience.
Some snarfing great experience, and for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me. Thanks, past me, and thanks again to Hopper for coming onto the show. That game was fun. That game was just top to bottom, like a super fun experience. I could not be happier with it. Be sure to follow Hopper on Twitter at Fail Deadly, and be sure to follow them also on Twitter at The Legend Tree. Also be sure to check out their work with Manapot Studios at twitch.tv/Manapot Studios. And of course, be sure to pick up your own copy of Fluxfall Horizon. You can find a link to the Kickstarter, which is in its final 48 hours, in the show notes. Finally, you know the drill. Follow us on Twitter, Party of One Pod. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/PartyOfOnePodcast. Head to our merch store at bit.ly/PartyOfOneMerch. Join our Discord at bit.ly/PartyOfOneDiscord. Leave a nice review for the show on iTunes or Podchaser. Send us some love on social media. Talk about your favorite part of the episode. Or, send me an email at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com about a thing that you liked. Someone did that last episode, and it made me really, really happy. So I would love to have that happen again. You can also throw money at us at patreon.com/JeffStormer or Ko-fi.com/JeffStormer. Or if you'd like to hear more from me, you can check out All My Fantasy Children, which is a character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast on the One Shot Podcast Network, in which every week, my best friend Aaron Gatano Saez and I take a listener-submitted prompt, we spin it into an original fantasy character, and populate a shared universe, one story at a time. New episodes drop, Fridays-ish at oneshotpodcast.com. Party of One is, as always, produced and edited by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. All music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, press coverage, or about guesting on the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that's all we do here, so I guess we'll see you at Christmas and we'll see you in 2022. Thank you as always for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And until 2022, party on, everybody.